Today on the Matt and Ant Show, we got Theo Fleury. What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good. Nice day in Calgary today, so it's all good.
Is that your usual place you stay, or do you got a second residence somewhere else?
No, this is where I hang out.
Nice. Well, we want to start off. What do you think about the upcoming season? What do you think about your Flames and how they're going to do this season?
Well, I think we got a goalie, so in Markstrom, so I think that'll really help. And the core group is intact, and they've had a lot of success, regular season wise, not playoff yet. So, takes some time to gain that experience and learn how to play in the playoffs and learn what you need to do in order to be successful, at that time of year. But I think they're definitely have worked themselves into being a playoff team pretty much every year now, which is really good. But every year you want to either advance further than you did the year before, and hopefully that happens.
I think it will. You guys got a lot of depth in Calgary right now, so
yeah, there's a lot of good players. So
can you imagine playing at this time with COVID going on?
Yeah, it's it's a crazy time to sort of be alive now, and but what I find interesting is that, when you look at, the sort of the four sports leagues, they've all, with the exception of the NHL did a great job of, sort of keeping COVID out of their space where they were. But what's interesting is I see, teams that have been decimated by COVID, they go through the protocol, and then when they come back, you don't see it again from them. So, I don't know if that's immunity or whatever you want to call it, but yeah, it's a difficult time. It's a really difficult time, and especially for athletes. I can't imagine. That you look at the team who didn't make the playoffs last year. Those guys have been almost out a year, almost, or getting close to a year. So that's difficult too. To not be able to play for almost the whole entire year. So.
You won your first Stanley Cup in your first season. How did that feel to win a Stanley Cup right out the gate?
Well, I think first and foremost, you dream about first, and then secondly, once you're there, then you dream about, winning a Stanley Cup. And, for me, those two things happen in the same year. But, that team, the 89 Calgary Flames team was full of, future Hall of Famers and superstars, and, so, and a lot of amazing role players too, lots of guys that, don't necessarily get a lot of ink, but, they were solid guys, solid people. And so, yeah, it was a huge thrill, and played 14 more years after, that first Stanley Cup, and didn't even come close. Well, closest I got was when I went to Colorado, and we lost in Game 7 to the Dallas Stars, and then Dallas went on to beat Buffalo for their first and only Stanley Cup as well. So, yeah, I didn't really probably appreciate it at the time, but I certainly do now that that I'm been retired for as long as I have, and realize how hard it is to actually win one.
You won a gold medal in 2002 in Salt Lake, and the NHL, the last Olympics, didn't have players in it. What do you think about NHL players playing in Olympics? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. And, you know, I felt that the last Olympics was a little disappointing that, you know, that the guys didn't go. And I thought, you know, once we started participating in 98 in Nagano, that we would be, you know, that we would participate, you know, every year after that, you know. So, you know, I think guys like Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews and, you know, the next generation of superstars, you know, I'm sure that is definitely on their bucket list, is to, you know, is to play in the Olympics at some point, you know. And the best on best tournaments, you know, are great for our sport, you know. And you know, it's great to grow the game in other places and other countries. And you know, I know that 80 million people watched the gold medal final in Salt Lake City. 80 million people worldwide watched the final of that game. And so, you know, the more eyeballs we get on our sport, you know, the more, you know, the more fans we create. And you know, it's just overall, it's better for our sport.
Yeah. With that being said, what was your favorite moment of your career?
Oh man. Well, I always say that, you know, I wasn't supposed to play one game in the National Hockey League because everybody told me I was too small. And, you know, that was sort of the common theme. And, you know, the fact that I got to do something for 15 years that I loved, and they actually paid me to do that, because I probably would have done it for free. You know, and then, you know, having so many incredible, you know, moments, you know, World Junior Champion, Stanley Cup, Canada Cup, Olympic gold medal, 7 All-Star games, 1,000 games, 1,000 points, you know, like, and I got to play with the greatest players in the world, you know, Gretzky, Lemieux, Messier, Sakic, Yzerman, you know, all those guys, you know. So I would say the whole entire experience, and to really, you know, single out one specific memory is really hard for, you know, for me to do, because I was a part of so many amazing games and teams and all that stuff. But more importantly, you know, I got to do something I love to do for 15 years. And you know, it was a goal of mine as a kid, and I worked, you know, really hard to achieve that goal. And then when I got there, you know, I was in all these amazing winning situations, winning opportunities, and like I said, I got to play with the greatest players of our era,
Uh,
which I believe is still the greatest era of superstars ever. You know, was
Uh, AKA, uh, in my life, you have a book out, correct?
yes, I've written a couple. I've actually written 3 books. So
You know,
yeah.
what is your favorite book that you wrote?
Geez. Well, I enjoyed writing all 3. You know, I think it's a pretty awesome process. And yeah, you know, I know that all 3 books have really helped a lot of people, and so that was sort of the purpose why I wrote them. And you know, but Playing with Fire, you know, has done the best of the 3. And you know, that book really sort of changed my life. You know, it changed my focus, changed my direction. And and now I spend you know, the majority of my life helping people who, you know, have had the same or similar experience, you know, such as myself. So it's been fantastic.
I was reading in an article that I think it was 17 or 18 years ago, right after your playing career, you attempted suicide, and you had a
Mm-hmm.
mouth, and you were about to kill yourself, and then you came to a realization and you tossed the gun away.
Yeah.
Can you tell me how that affected your life after that moment, where you are now?
Well, yeah, I think that day I actually chose to live, and so I've spent the last 15 years, in this space of healing from trauma, healing from mental illness, and healing from addiction issues, and because I suffered from all three of them, and so it's been amazing, and I get lots of incredible opportunities to talk to people like yourself, and share my story. But I think more importantly is sharing my journey of healing, and trying to help as many people, get to where they want to go.
I know, and that leads to my next question is that do you think that what you went through that you help other people in a bit?
Yeah, there's no question that I realized there was a reason why all these things happened to me. And the reason why they happened to me was to get me to this place of, being able to share my story, talk openly, very honestly, vulnerable, share my story with people, which in turn, allows them to, sort of repeat what I've done. And when you can use your voice and talk about your pain and your suffering, or your abuse, or your drug abuse, or whatever it is, that's huge for people to who tend to, or we tend to internalize all that stuff. And when we internalize it, it causes us a lot of problems, a lot of issues. And so I always encourage people to use their voice and talk about their pain. And another thing is that if you have trauma, if you have mental illness and addiction issues, like, you're in the majority of the world, you're not in the minority. That's been my experience, is that more people suffer from trauma, mental health, and addiction issues than don't. That's been my experience. And you know uh, I've been able to navigate through the therapy world and whatnot, and get myself better, get myself to a place where I can function without drugs and alcohol, and all those addiction issues. And so that's what I do on a daily basis, is try to help people um, sort of understand, but more importantly, how you can heal, and how you can uh, move on and have a healthy, happy, productive life.
What are you more proud of? How you've helped people since your playing career is over, because you've helped thousands, maybe even more than that, people, or your hockey career?
Well, I would say what I'm doing now is what's really the most important thing. Hockey obviously gave me everything that I have in life, but um, but more importantly, it gave me a voice. It gave me a pretty loud voice where people are willing to listen to not only my story, but the journey and the path that it takes to heal.
Uh, and there a favorite moment that you thought you really helped somebody in any way, um, for example, maybe hockey or what you're doing now.
I didn't really understand the question. What did you say?
You have like a lasting memory of helping someone since your playing career has been over, since you've helped people with depression, addiction,
Yeah.
stands out?
Man, I got thousands of stories, but um, Hmm. Just trying to think of one that really sort of stands out. You know, the theme is, you know, is always uh, common, right? The trauma is sort of the common denominator in, you know, most of the stories that I hear.
Yeah.
And you know, I had a guy at an event who because after I speak, usually a line forms and people, you know, come up to me and thank me, or they want to tell their story or whatever it is. And this one particular event, you know, I saw a guy standing off to the side of the stage, and he wanted to be the last guy to come and talk to me. And so he stands in front of me. He looks exactly like Santa Claus. He's got the big white beard, the big belly, you know, the whole 9 yards. And he stands in front of me and he says, "My name is so and so. I'm 72 years old, and I was molested for 705 consecutive days.
Wow.
And you're the first person I've ever told in my life." And I was just like, wow. And you know, and this was at the beginning of when my book just had come out, and I was on the speakers circuit, and I was doing a lot of speeches, and you know, I was completely blown away by this guy. And what was really cool was, you know, when he approached me, you know, he sort of looked like not only did he look like Santa Claus, but he was like the saddest Santa Claus, you
Yeah.
know. And after having like a 10-minute interaction with him, he changed like so much, where, you know, he could pick his head up and actually look me in the eye. uh, he had a little bit more sparkle in his eyes, and when he left, you know, he had a little bit more jump in his step, and he had hope, right? And you know, I always say, you know, if I had a product, you know, my product is hope, and I sell hope, you know, every single day. And so, you know, when people come up, you know, or, you know, during COVID, you know, I've had a lot of people reach out to me who have been suicidal, you know, because of COVID, because they're isolated, and um, you know, they don't have a lot of people around them that would understand what they're going through. And so, you know, I've spent a lot of my time during COVID, you know, helping people sort of go from suicidal to actually wanting to live. And so, you know, that's been sort of a common theme, you know, and a common topic. And you know, when you realize that there have been more opioid deaths and more suicides than there actually have been COVID deaths, you know, it just goes to show you, you know, how prevalent um, and how traumatizing COVID has been.
It's insane. I was seeing you have do music now. Could you tell us a little bit
Yeah,
about that? And I saw that you had a song on Madden a couple years ago.
yeah, that's right. You guys play Madden football?
Uh,
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I grew up around music. My family is incredibly musical, and you know, my grandpa was a fiddle player, my dad was a guitar player and a singer, and my uncle, and you know, so I actually had a cousin of mine finish in the top 10 of Canadian Idol one year.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so we, you know, we come from a musical family. And you know, after I wrote the book, I was like, geez, you know, if I can write a book, maybe I can write music. And so, you know, I had some friends that were in the music industry, writers, producers, um, performers, and I got together with a couple of those guys and just started writing songs. And then you know, then we ended up writing, I think, like 30 songs, and then we picked the 10 best and found a recording studio here in Calgary and put the album together. And yeah, it's been amazing. You know, it's been really well received, and you know, we've sold a lot of CDs and albums on Apple and Spotify. So it's been it's been a lot of fun.
With that being said, I know some of our favorites are, Neil Young and Hot and Gold. What are your favorite music?
What's my favorite music? I love country music. So any I don't like the new stuff. I prefer like the Johnny Cash's and the Willie Nelson's, Buck Owens, the old kind of old style country is what I listened to growing up as a kid. And it's the songs I listened to my dad actually sing and perform himself. So I like the old style country, and that's what what our style of music is. It's like rockabilly country, like Dwight Yoakam kind of stuff. And it's been fun. It's been awesome. So
That's absolutely amazing. Last question for you is, of any of the current players, who's your favorite to watch right now?
oh man, well I one of my favorites is Brad Marchand because we play a similar style of game. Marty St. Louis before that, so but I love Ovechkin. Braden Point's another guy, who and we actually played. Both of us played for the Moose Jaw Warriors, so we have that connection too. So I like small guys who are having success, who are tough, and not willing to or willing to get their noses dirty. Those are my favorite players.
Yeah.
I have one more question. Whatever it is that you went through and all that, what would be a message that you would leave with somebody that would be watching our show or a big fan of yours? What would you want to say to them?
Huh. Well, I think that if I were to, say to anybody is that um, I really believe we all have the ability to heal from whatever it is we've experienced in life.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with good people, work hard, but most importantly, just have fun. If you love what you're doing, then it's not work.
Yeah.
Right. And that was my hockey career. I absolutely loved to play hockey, and it was never a job until sort of the end of my career when I got older, and I didn't bounce back from injuries as quick as I did at the beginning of my career, and I made a promise to myself when it became a job, I would quit, and that's what happened, but what I do now is I really believe the reason why I was put on the earth, and it's my true purpose in life, was to go through all the things that I went through and to get to this place. And now I'm in a position to, help a lot of people who had the same experience as me. And it's what gets me out of bed every day, is to try and find that one person who needs help, and usually it usually happens. So
Well,
I feel very blessed and very fortunate to to be able to do what I do today.
I want to thank you for coming on our show today. It was an absolute honor. I loved watching you growing up. And I want to get this guy in the Hall of Fame because you deserve it.
I appreciate that. That'd be great.
Music on iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere. The book, he's got 3 books out. Do you have anything else that we haven't said?
No, it's all good. I appreciate your time, and thanks for asking me to be on your show. Where are you guys located?
We're in right outside Philly. We're in Morton, right? Morton, Pennsylvania.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you Flyers fans?
Yeah, we're big Flyers fans.
That's awesome. It's awesome. I loved playing in Philly. It was a great place to play.
Yeah,
Especially at
when you
the
were.
old Spectrum. The old Spectrum was fun.
Yeah, that was when some of my. I only got to go there with the Phantoms because I was like 2 or 3 when they
Right.
did the AHL only there. But all my experience there were great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All
Cool.
right,
All right, guys.
it's been an honor, and hope to talk to you again.
Sounds good. Take care, guys.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.